This 370Z Nismo is really cool, but it could definitely use some love. Today we're gonna be walking through how we went from this to this with our paint correction process. We're gonna walk you through it all. Let's get into it. So with any paint correction process, whether it be the Z or the Porsche next to me, we are doing a full wash, clay, chemical paint decontamination process. That way we can strip the paint of any sort of contaminants or oils. That way we have a fresh surface to work with so that we can see the true condition of the paint. This paint in particular definitely needs some love, as you can see, so we're gonna get into it. One of the most important steps of a true paint correction is making sure that you are taking all the precautions necessary to make sure you are getting the best result while maintaining the integrity of the clear coat. That's why we use a paint thickness gauge to measure the thickness of the paint and make sure that we are within the right range so that we can then start to do the true paint correction. When we first get into the shop, we always do a test spot to make sure that we are doing the optimal combination of compounds and polishes that work specifically for this paint. Even if it's the exact same car, two different cars are always gonna be slightly different. That's why we always do a test spot to make sure the combination of compounds and polishes is optimal for this paint. For example, with this one, we found that the paint gauge kind of ranged. So it's ranging from 90 microns to about 115 microns, and that leaves us enough clear coat to be able to do that paint correction without compromising the integrity of the clear coat. If it's around the 70 micron, that's where we would not be doing any sort of compounding and actually digging into the paint. If you've ever done any sort of woodworking or have any sort of sanding experience, it's kind of like using extremely high grit sandpaper. Obviously we're not sanding your car, don't worry. However, it is similar. So what we're doing is taking a compound, which is a more aggressive, and it's able to get rid of the surface marring and scratching and that sort of thing, but that doesn't leave it in the most optimal position. That's why we go back with a polishing step, which brings back the gloss and shine to it. So it's essentially like using the sandpaper on wood. You go a little bit more aggressive and you work your way up in the grits. So that's how we're able to get a more refined finish, using a more aggressive compound and then following it up with the high gloss polish, right? So we take it down a little bit and bring it back to life. Alrighty, so we're done with the 370Z Nismo, and one of the main reasons we wanted to showcase this one in particular was because there are limitations with paint correction. The way we did this was to ensure the most optimal result while maintaining the integrity of the paint like we were mentioning earlier. If we were to go after some of these deeper scratches, we would be compromising the clear coat and risking burning the paint and then causing premature clear coat failure. So you will notice on this car that there are some scratches left. Obviously, there are deeper scratches that are through the clear coat, through the paint, that we're not gonna go after. We're trying to get it to be as good as we can get it without having to do a repaint, but obviously everyone has their own personal preferences. So if you want it to be as pristine as possible, there are certain areas that you will need to get repainted, but that's just the limitations that we have to abide by. We also did some paint protection film and ceramic coating on this Nismo, and that's definitely a great option if you're gonna be doing any sort of enhancement so you can protect the enhanced paint. The hood has been protected, the bumper has been protected, and the whole thing has been ceramic coated. That way we can get it to be a little bit glossier and make it to where it has a lot more UV protection and make it easier to clean. So it had a pretty drastic turnaround. Really excited to see the client's reaction on this one, and we will definitely see you on the next. Have a good one.